field, guys. Get in here. We got to go fast now.
The Houston Astros were swept at home by the Baltimore Orioles this past weekend after returning from the All-Star break. That puts their record at 47-54 on the season. Next up is a home series versus the Miami Marlins. Game 1 is tonight with first pitch from Dyken Park scheduled for 7:10, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Spain is your 2026 World Cup winner after they took down the defending champion Argentinians 1-0 on Sunday. Ferran Torres scored the lone goal in the 106th minute to help his country hoist the trophy for the second time. SEC Media Days from Tampa, Florida begin today as RP3 and Meche and the Lowdown with D'Lo will broadcast live from there through Thursday. Today's teams that will be available at the podium and on the floor are the head coach and players from Kentucky, Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Ryan Fox won the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale Golf Course in Southport, England with a score of 10 under to capture his first major and first PGA Tour win since June of last year. Cameron Young was in the lead until he bogeyed multiple holes in the back nine yesterday. The Oklahoma City Thunder were part of a three-team trade that sent Lou Dort to the Atlanta Hawks for 3 second-round picks. The Hawks will get Andrew Nembhard, and the Dallas Mavericks as the third team will get former number 1 overall pick Zachary Rizache. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Good day to you and yours, and welcome into RP3 and Meche as we're broadcasting live from Radio Row here inside the massive hotel complex in lovely Tampa. We got a view of the water. We got yachts parked out. Do you say parked for a boat? I'm not really for sure. But we're here in lovely Florida for SEC Media Days. And of course, all of our coverage today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and our bonus day coverage that we're going to have here with RP3 and Meche and the Lowdown with D'Lo is all powered by our friends at Service Chevrolet Cadillac. We're going to tell you about some great deals they have going on right now as well. And we got a jam-packed show for you today. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to have Mr. College Football himself, Tony Barnhart, will be joining us live here on the show, talking all things, of course, SEC for the upcoming season. Then after that, we're going to have national championship winning quarterback for the LSU Tigers. He now hosts a radio show over in Baton Rouge. Matt Flynn will be joining us, and we'll break down the quarterbacks in the league this year heading into the season. I'm going to get his insight there. And then we're going to have a great conversation overall about the upcoming season for the SEC with our buddy from Crane and Cone, Jake Crane. So those are the guests that we got lined up for you today. We also have our poll question of the day. So obviously we have a lot to get to. Just got told, confirmation, a parked boat is docked. It's docked, not parked, docked. Blake Purser is here. I'm trying to educate him as well. VP, it's docked. The boat is docked, not parked. So we got that going for us as well. Of course, we're here, but our guy, James Meche, the producer extraordinaire, the LAB award winner, the man with the best trash stash in sports media in the states of Louisiana and Mississippi, is back inside the Beeline A-Bear Studios in Upper Lafayette. He's going to be manning the ones and twos all week for us. James, good day, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Raymond. I'm doing just fine over here. It sounds like y'all made a flawless trip over there.
Flawless trip?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A quick recap before we dive into today's specials. Let's see. Our airline pushed our flight and then pushed it again, and then essentially just canceled it altogether. and was wanting us to fly in to here around 11 o'clock last night and then to try to catch a plane this morning from Miami to Tampa. So that was muy, muy pabon, as our guy Kevin Foote would say. So we opted to drive the 11 hours from lovely Lafayette, Louisiana, down to Tampa. We made it. We stopped off in Tallahassee, which was nice. That's Dawson's old stomping grounds. And then we took the old highway from Tallahassee down to Tampa, which was filled with nothing but old roadside motels from like the 1940s and 50s. Some of them in really good condition. Other ones look like not so much. And then about 15 miles or so outside of Tampa, because that highway was littered with nothing but deer everywhere. We had a deer jump in front of us, and we tried to avoid it, and then it jumped in front of us again, nearly wrecked. But thankfully, we did not, and no damage to us or to the vehicle, and no damage to the deer. So, and then we got in around 2 o'clock in the morning. So, we're ready to rock and roll, James Mesh. We're running on pure adrenaline. BP is beside himself. He's already downed about 3 cups of coffee. Dawson, he's in his element as well. So, yeah, it was an interesting adventure, if you will, getting here for SEC Media Days. But we're here. We're on the air. We got great interviews lined up. So we're happy, bud. We're locked in and ready to do great things. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine over here. It sounds like that deer is on suicide watch. And then also, it sounds like y'all will not be doing whatever festivity SEC Media Days has for y'all tonight because you're going to try and catch up on sleep.
We may. There is a media event tonight. We'll probably go to. I don't know how long we'll be staying at, James, because we will be slightly tired. But BP, he's a youngster like yourself. He's got all this mad energy. He's good to go. So there we go. There we go. So no, we got great start to the week, and we're excited to be here. Fortunate to be here once again. Want to thank our friends at Service Chevrolet Cadillac, who are the proud sponsors of our SEC Media Days coverage, not only on the air but also online on our website, espnsouthwestlouisiana.com, and our social media accounts. Of course, we'll be posting photos and videos every day while we're here in lovely Tampa. But let's go ahead and get things started. We got a jam-packed weekend recap edition of today's specials.
The fellas can't help with your lunch plans, but they can serve up the top stories of the day in bite-sized pieces. Time to order up today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street. Order up.
Our special for today is to recap what was a very, very, very busy weekend, and we're going to get all that out of the way because obviously we're going to be so focused on SEC Media Days. Start off first and foremost with the Open Championship. Sam Burns set a record for lowest consecutive rounds in a major as he went 62-65 on Friday and Saturday there at the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale across the pond, put himself in a position to win his first major, the former LSU All-American. He had a lead heading into Sunday. He added to that lead on hole number 2 with a birdie. And then came bogey, 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 and the wheels came off and they never got back on for Sam Burns as he blew the 54-hole lead, while there was other people out there shooting low scores, including Cameron Young, who put himself in a position where he was tied for the lead for the majority of the day. He had shot really low on Sunday to put pressure on the leaderboard. He was looking for his first major victory, but it ended up being Ryan Fox. And the young man, we're gonna call him young. I say that sarcastically, obviously, because not young, not at all. 35 years old. He is going pro and got to be a pro, turned pro when he was 25, struggled, worked his way up. Ryan Fox did to become a professional golfer. Had never really been in contention at any major championship, but when it mattered the most on Sunday, he stepped up in the biggest way possible. And it came down for Ryan right at the end because he was tied with Cameron Young. Cameron Young was on the driving range, trying to stay warm, trying to stay loose, looking for a playoff there for the Open Championship. And instead, it was Ryan Fox's time, the Australian. He birdies 18 to get to 10 under par to win the Open Championship, beats Cameron Young by 1 stroke. Sam Burns finishes in 3rd place at 8 under. Scotty Scheffler, who could never really get the putter going, especially 4 feet or less. Like he wasn't Scotty this whole year with his putter. That's the thing that's probably prevented him from winning one of the majors this year. He was also your defending champ. But Scotty there at 7 under, Tommy Fleetwood at 7 under. But Fox birdies the difficult 18th, captures the Open Championship, and it was just a simply great story for him. This is a guy that's very much a journeyman. This is a guy who not many people know about. And well into his mid 30s. Sorry, he's 39. 39. 39 years old, wins the Open Championship. Sorry, not Australia, from New Zealand. They get very particular about that, by the way. James, in case you didn't know, the New Zealanders like to be known as Kiwis. If you call them Australia, they get very, very upset about that. I apologize to all of our listeners who are from New Zealand. Just want to go ahead and get that out of the way. But Fox at 39 is your unlikely Open champion, and that completes the championship. That completes the major swing for this year for golf. Rory McIlroy was not in contention over the weekend. He made more headlines with talking about Bryson DeChambeau, and then talking about the course, and then talking about how he's not really locked into golf. So that's kind of interesting where Rory's head at. He just doesn't look like a guy that likes being a golfer right now. And that's kind of stunning to say. Scotty obviously goes the year without winning a major championship, but he's still one of the best golfers in the world. The putter kind of betrayed him this year, but great theater to start Sunday. Then, of course, later on, we go from golf and we go to the pitch World Cup final. It's your defending champs, Argentina, taking on Spain, who was an absolute machine. And Messi and company were trying to go back to back. It did not happen. Credit Spain. James, we talked about this. They were a machine. They gave up 1 goal in 8 matches in this World Cup. 1 goal. That was it. In 8 matches, they win their 2nd World Cup champion. Argentina made a flurry there in extra time, right, where they started to attack a little bit more and they started to get a little bit more of an opening to get some shots, but it wasn't until extra time that they even had a shot on goal, while Spain had like 20 of them without scoring, and then they finally break through in extra time for that 1 goal, and they hold on for the 1-0 win. And Spain celebrates, and they have such a young team. They have the young phenom. They're stacked. Obviously, you think of them being your World Cup favorite moving forward. Mbappe in France, after going nuts in that 3rd place game on Saturday, he gets the Golden Boot for the 2nd time in his illustrious career. So a busy, busy weekend. And of course, the Astros led
Bad
in
weekend.
all their games against the Baltimore Orioles at home inside Daikin Park, and ended up losing them, getting swept by a Baltimore Orioles team that looks like they're going to try to be sellers at the trade deadline. Yet they come into Houston, despite the efforts of Yordan Alvarez and some pretty good starting pitching, and sweep the Stros. I don't know what to make of Houston right now. They are. That's not the way that you want to come out of the All-Star break. It's just not.
No, not even close. Especially when you were starting to get some hope. Thought maybe the All-Star break would give you an opportunity to kind of reset things, but I do wonder what's the timeline looking like over there in Houston with the coach and the general manager at this point in time.
Oh, there's been a lot of chatter about that. They got rid of James Click because they didn't agree with his approach, very analytical approach, and they wanted to go with a different approach on how to construct the roster and how to manage the team. And they went in that direction. They fired James Click after winning a World Series and the assistant GM. And this franchise has not been the same since. Just hasn't. It's gotten worse and worse every year. So, you can blame that on Dana Brown, but Jim Crane's the one that made that decision and signed off on getting rid of his World Series championship general manager and his assistant. So kind of paying the cost a little bit here, paying the piper, if you will, to use a Kevin Foote term. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see what's going to happen there in H-Town for sure. Let's go ahead before we take our timeout. Can we unveil the poll question of the day, Mr. Meche?
Absolutely. For our poll question of the day, we had asked you on Facebook and on X, since there's 16 teams in the SEC, we'll divvy them up into tables. This is a fun little social media trend that's been going on for a few years now. Where would you sit? At table A, we've got LSU's Lane Kiffin, Arkansas's Ryan Silverfield, Missouri's Eli Drinkwitz, and Tennessee's Josh Heupel. Now, table 2 has Kirby Smart from Georgia, Will Stein with Kentucky, Pete Golding of Ole Miss, and Jeff Lebby with Mississippi State. We had to make sure that Golding and Kiffin were at different tables. Table C has Steve Sarkisian from Texas, Alex Golish with Auburn, Brent Venables with Oklahoma, and Shane Beamer with South Carolina, and then Kalen DeBoer with Alabama, Mike Elko, Clark Lee with Vanderbilt, and John Summerall with Florida round out table D.
It's an interesting look. I'll give my thoughts on this a little bit later on, but I want people to go vote on it. It's an interesting question because, some of them, look, you got some of the coaches that are probably kind of boring and duds, but maybe their situation is interesting. You got others that obviously are, fascinating personalities. So keep voting on our poll question of the day. James and I will give our thoughts later on this hour here at SEC Media Days. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to bring on our first guest, Mr. College Football himself. Tony Barnhart will be joining us live on Radio Row right here inside the lovely, lovely downtown Water Street Hotel here in lovely Tampa, Florida for SEC Media Days. Of course, all of our coverage is presented by our friends at Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street.
Now is a great time to save at Southwest Volkswagen as summer is getting hot. Get the 2026 Volkswagen Atlas for only 0.9 APR for 48 months or take advantage of $3,500 in customer bonus cash. The Volkswagen Atlas with third-row seating, amazing technology, and one of the most comfortable drives you'll experience. Don't wait. Get down to Southwest Volkswagen today, located at 6184 Johnston Street in Lafayette, or you can give them a call, 337-895-0110 for more details.
ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Acadiana area businesses. Is it time to make an impact? Time for more traffic, more engagement, time for more customers? Then it's time to make a splash with Bass. Bass is now offering digital marketing, indoor and outdoor digital signage, billboards, and video production to help you reach more customers and close more business. For over 30 years, Bass has helped our customers tell their story. Bass Companies. Remember, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Advertise with Bass. Find us around Acadiana or at bassltd.com.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3-gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
Before hitting the road, get hooked up at Match Trailers on Bertrand Drive. Everything you need from truck equipment, accessories, and trailer parts, Match Trailers has it. Match Trailers, 1849 Bertrand Drive in Lafayette, or give Matt a call at 235-7534.
Looking for a spotless workplace? Variety Janitorial Services is your go-to for office cleaning to stripping and floor waxing and carpet cleaning. Your commercial space will look its best. Their reputation for perfection has grown throughout the entire Acadiana community. They deliver top-notch service with a commitment to excellence. Daily, weekly, or deep cleaning, trust the experts. Visit varietyjan.com today or call 337-298-8704 for a free quote. Variety Janitorial Services. We clean, you shine.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers, heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
It's the conference where everything just means more, including talking season. Everybody! Back to more SEC Media Days from Tampa coverage on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
And it's time for us to bring on our first guest here at SEC Media Days in Tampa. It's Mr. College Football himself, Mr. Tony Barnhart, who's here representing the Dodd Trophy as well, which I always love talking to you about, Mr. Tony. So let's go ahead. How's your trip been so far being here in Tampa? And what do you think of us being in Tampa?
Well, it's good to have everybody here, and it means another college football season is coming, which is what we all live for. And
that's right.
It's the best time of the year. There's no question about that. And so we're talking, and I'm just happy that most of the time we're actually talking about football. Okay?
Yes.
We're not talking about NIL.
We're
not talking about Congress. We're not talking about all that. We're talking about football, and that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, that's the thing that recharges my batteries. It's just talking about teams and games and everything like that. So let's dive right in. Obviously, Texas, Georgia are kind of viewed as the cream of the crop for this year. Who do you have the most confidence in to win the SEC and make the playoff between those two, and why?
Texas. I think Texas has the deeper roster. They said we got to go. We have a generational quarterback. We need to surround him with enough talent. We don't care what it costs. And guess what? Texas doesn't care what it costs.
No.
As long as oil is this good, so we'll go from there. And so I think Georgia is a very good team. I'm concerned about their wide receiver position. You need big play wide receivers. You need big wide receivers. I'm not sure Georgia has that, but we'll find out. The rest, I love Gunnar Stockton, their quarterback. Nate Frazier, their running back, is going to have a 1,000-yard year, so they'll be able to run the ball. So, but it's Texas and Georgia in Atlanta for me.
And it feels that way because they do feel like the teams that have the most experience and everything coming back. Lots of conversation, lots of talk about Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. They gave him the big contract extension, so he's not on the hot seat. I don't believe.
No,
but
no.
When you look at their roster, it's a slew of new starters. They only got one returning starter on offense, and that's Ryan Williams, a wide receiver that has ups and downs in his career. What's the realistic expectation for Alabama this year with so many new starters?
Playoffs. Got to make the playoffs. Sorry. It's going to get ugly if they don't. Now, he's not on, you're right. He's not on the hot seat. But Alabama fans are not going to be satisfied with anything less than making the playoffs. And we know that going on. So that's the benchmark as you start the season. But there's so many good teams in this league. I said this, I think this is the third year I've said this, is that there are a lot of really good teams in this league. I'm not sure there's a great one. Texas might be a great one. Georgia might be a great one. So we'll see on that.
Do you believe that what Coach Elko and Texas A&M has been able to do in such a short time, do you think they can build off of last year when they made the playoffs, and do you think they can turn themselves into a true championship contender this year?
I think so. You got Marcel Reed back. back at full strength, and that means a whole lot. I just think Mike Elko's a really good coach, and I think they will do fine. But they're my dark horse to get to Atlanta and maybe make some noise in Atlanta.
They got a really good coach. It's just that you're just waiting on the Aggies to get over the hump, which feels like we've been talking about that for decades when it comes to them, because they have a ton of resources there too, and they have a ton of money that goes into that program. Is this rivalry between LSU and Ole Miss, which obviously is going to dominate this season, but do you think it could have legs to become what LSU and Bama was for a decade?
Absolutely. That used to be the rivalry when Billy Cannon, the 50s and all that. That was the big rivalry, particularly the 59, 60, 61. No question about it. So yeah, this rivalry could have legs. There's no doubt about it.
I know they lose their head coach, they lose their play caller, they lose their OC. But Ole Miss still returns their starting quarterback, who's going to be a Heisman candidate, at least preseason. They have a really good starting running back that's going to be playing in the NFL.
Lacey, great.
And I know back where we're at in LSU country, they really want them to be bad. They really want Ole Miss to be terrible this year. I don't see a huge fall off in this year with all the talent they have coming back. How do you see that?
I think that's exactly well. I said, listen, if Shamlis was available, if he was on the team, they're a top 5 team, certainly a top 10 team, maybe a top 5 team. And so I think, people say, well, Lane Kiffin's gone, they're going to drop off the face of the earth. I don't see it that way. As long as you've got elite playmakers, and Ole Miss does, I think they will be. I think they will be there.
We're talking with Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football here at SEC Media Days in Tampa. He joins us here on RP3 and Meche from Radio Row. How much pressure do you believe Coach Kiffin is under to deliver in year one for LSU?
Anything less than the playoffs is going to be a major disappointment. They've got to make the playoffs, and they've got to get to the national. I think they've got to get to the national championship game. If not, the fans are going to be, hey, we gave you everything you wanted. Now we're not giving you enough time to create a culture and all that kind of stuff. So how does it handle? Somebody, I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody told me, because I don't follow gambling or anything, but somebody told me that the over and under for LSU was 8.5. Could that possibly be right?
That seems like 8.5. No,
8.5.
Yeah, that's what the sports.
That ain't going to cut it. That ain't going to cut it at all.
No, not at all. Mr. Tony, we'll get you out of here with this. I know you're here today on behalf of the Dodd Trophy. Tell us what this trophy is all about and what Coach Dodd meant to you and meant to the sport of college football.
Well, it was certainly named for the Hall of Fame coach Robert Lee Bobby Dodd at Georgia Tech for 25 years. And it was put together by his own letterman that created the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year Foundation. And every year I'm on the board of directors. And this is a coaching trophy that's different than any other trophy. Wins and losses are certainly important, but this takes on how your players doing academically, what are they doing from community service standpoint, and things of that nature. And it's just a different kind of award. I'll give you a perfect example. 2 years ago, Marcus Freeman of Notre Dame won. He didn't. I don't know how many National Coach of the Year awards he won, but he won the Dodd Trophy. And I get asked to have my name on a lot of different things, but this is the one that I'm most proud of, and I'm proud to have my name associated with it.
Mr. Tony, always appreciate your time, brother.
All right, my friend.
Thank
Good
you
to
so
see
much. Thank you.
bet.
Enjoy the rest of Media Days. We got to take a time out. When we come back here on RP3 and Meche, we'll bring on our next guest, a national championship winning quarterback turned morning show talk host. Matt Flynn will be joining us here on RP3 and Meche. That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Delta Media Corps is helping your kids head back to school in style, powered by Cosmetology Training Center. This school year, we want to ease the pain on the pocketbook for parents by giving free haircuts this Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is for kids ages 5 to 12 only. A parent or guardian must be present and sign a waiver for a free haircut. So join us at Cosmetology Training Center at 5520 Johnson Street this Wednesday for free back-to-school haircuts for your kids.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up!
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros were swept at home by the Baltimore Orioles this past weekend after returning from the All-Star break. That puts their record at 47-54 on the season. Next up is a home series versus the Miami Marlins. Game 1 is tonight with first pitch from Dyken Park scheduled for 7:10, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Spain is your 2026 World Cup winner after they took down the defending champion Argentinians 1-0 on Sunday. Ferran Torres scored the lone goal in the 106th minute to help his country hoist the trophy for the second time. SEC Media Days from Tampa, Florida begin today as RP3 and Meche and the Lowdown with D'Lo will broadcast live from there through Thursday. Today's teams that will be available at the podium and on the floor are the head coach and players from Kentucky, Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Ryan Fox won the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale Golf Course in Southport, England with a score of 10 under to capture his first major and first PGA Tour win since June of last year. Cameron Young was in the league until he bogeyed multiple holes in the back nine yesterday. The Oklahoma City Thunder were part of a 3-team trade that sent Lou Dort to the Atlanta Hawks for 3 second-round picks. The Hawks will get Andrew Nembhard, and the Dallas Mavericks as the third team will get former number 1 overall pick Zachary Rizashe. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Meche and the Lowdown with D'Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. You're supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you.
But he likes you, Bart.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's Office.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the LHSAA, are the 110,000 high school sports students in Louisiana. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen,
a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Want to get caught up on everything that happened today at the circus that is SEC Media Days in Tampa? Yeah. Not to worry. We've got you covered. Back to more SEC football talk on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. And powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Welcome back in to RP3 and Meche as we broadcast live from Radio Row here in Tampa for SEC Media Days. Joining us now is a gentleman that knows a little something about quarterbacks. He was a 4-year letterman at LSU where he would throw for more than 3,000 yards in his career, more than 30 touchdowns. He would help the Tigers win the BCS National Championship his senior season. He then would go on to play in the NFL for 8 years, and now he spends his days talking about LSU, talking about college football and pro football over on ESPN 104.5 in Baton Rouge. Yeah, joining us now, of course, is Matt Flynn. Matt, thank you for making the time, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. We talk a lot of college and pro sports, but we talk a lot of nonsense too over there, over at our 104.5 station. So, you know what? I sat down and I was just looking at you got the video feed here. I really do not like our background right now.
With the Gators, yes.
This Florida Gator thing. If someone takes this out of context, I'm going to look real bad.
Oh, man. All right. So, look, it's an interesting year in the SEC for quarterbacks, and I want to start off with LSU. They go and get their guy, Sam Leavitt, out of the NCAA transfer portal, a very productive player at Arizona State, but he did have the injury, which required a surgery that has kept him out primarily of spring football. Once fall camp starts ramping up, as a guy who played at every level, at a high level, what are you looking for from Sam when we start to see them report for fall camp that you know that he's going to be good to go?
I don't know if we're looking for anything in particular, as far as like reps or explosiveness. I think we've seen a lot of that already, just in like random, whether it's social media clips from him dunking a football over a goalpost, or there was a report that came out. I think he was clocked at like 21 miles an hour or something like that during one of these workouts. Like, I don't know how they get these clips, but you saw in spring he wasn't ever a full go, but he did a lot of the work. And spring is a time where it's all about mental repetitions anyway. In spring, nobody's winning a job or losing a job in spring. You never go back after spring training's over. You never go back and watch spring training film, but it's just about being there. And especially with the transfer portal days, I mean, it's just about getting to know people, getting to know their personalities, trying to mesh and bond as human beings and as football players and as a whole team. So they're out there and they're everyone's learning a new offense. So that was important. I didn't care about seeing him go full go in spring at all, but the fact that he was going out there and being a part of, in depth in the practice and doing some of the 7-on-7, doing some individual, doing some inside stuff. It was good to see, but I would expect him to be a full go from the start, and he needs to be. Certainly, especially with new guys learning a new system, learning a new offense. And I would expect that, on paper at least, he looks really good on a Lane Kiffin type offense.
And that's what I was going to ask you. What are the skill sets from a quarterback's perspective that Sam has that you've seen based on watching game tape and everything that you go, that's a guy that's going to be a really good fit for this offense?
Yeah, he's a good athlete, for one. He's an extremely good athlete, extremely dangerous with his legs. We've seen clips of him at Arizona State really hurt people with his legs. But he's the kind of guy that it tends to, the threat is always there, but he wants to use it in a secondary usage. He wants to beat you with his arm. But, what Lane does so well is he sets the pocket in different places. so the pocket's going to be in your normal spot. It might be off the tackle at one point. It might be at the hash at another. So he's always going to move this quarterbacks around, and you're never going to throw on the same plane. So defensive ends, defensive linemen, blitzers off the nickel, whatever it is, they don't really have a like one set bullseye that they're trying to attack before the snap, because you don't really know where the pocket's going to end up being, because Lane likes to move his quarterbacks left and right and throw the ball outside of the hash, outside of the numbers. So it's I think the athleticism is probably like the easy thing that people fall back on. Lane likes that type of quarterback. You saw it last year, and he can take an athletic quarterback and turn them into a very productive college player.
Trinidad Chambliss had a phenomenal year coming out of nowhere. It exceeded all expectations. He's back. He's decided to come back for another season for the Ole Miss Rebels. What do you kind of? How much better do you think he can be this year, or do you think there's a bigger chance of him maybe regressing a little bit without Lane and without Charlie Weiss Jr. there to kind of coach him?
That's a challenge, certainly, when you lose your offensive-minded head coach and you lose your offensive coordinator. Certainly, there is the potential of at least a regression in production, but I don't think there's going to be a regression in how he performs, the types of throws that he's able to make. Early on in his starting season last year, when he took over the job from Austin Simmons, you saw him get incrementally better every single week. By the end of the season, he was making professional throws, professional reads. It wasn't about scheme.
I mean, they were talking about him being maybe a first-round draft pick based on how he was.
There was nobody in the country playing better than him. Now, Fernando was doing. He was on his own level, but I mean, Trinidad Chambliss had them, 1 inch on a toe tap play, 1 play away from going to the national championship game. Without, after Lane had last. Now I get it. It was all the same offensive staff, and they kind of figured out a way to patch that with the offensive coordinator and everything. But it remains to be seen. I know he's a really good player. He's a damn good player, and but the challenges of overcoming what they're losing from the coaching perspective is going to be very hard. I'm not going to say it can't be done, but it's going to be very hard.
It's going to be a challenge for sure. We're talking with national championship winning starting quarterback for the LSU Tigers. Matt Flynn joins us here on RP3 and Meche as we broadcast live from Radio Row for SEC Media Days. It seemed to us that a light bulb went off with Arch Manning last year as a full-time starter. He had the early struggles. He wasn't terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but obviously expectations with his namesake and everything like that was through the roof. But something clicked in him late in the season where you were like, oh, and it became the narrative like, if Texas can find a way to sneak into the playoff, that's not a team that you want to play because of how they're playing. From a quarterback's perspective, what changed for Arch that you could see that changed, that all of a sudden his game, you could see it in the last quarter of the season, it elevated?
Well, it's experience. Experience is the greatest teacher we all have, and he's a young kid. I didn't have the most experience when I became the full-time starter at LSU, but I was also 4 or 5 years into my college career. This kid was young, thrown onto one of the, a very highly touted team and given extremely unfair expectations put on him because of his name, which I kind of felt bad for, going, like, it's a weird thing to feel bad for, right? Everybody loves you and everybody thinks you're going to be like the #1 draft pick, blah, 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 and you never even started a game. But you start the season on the road against Ohio State in an absolute no-win situation. There was no chance he was going to go out and play good and light up the scoreboard. And even if he played decent, he still, like, from the hype that he was given, it still wouldn't have reached the expectations that were put on him. The way he started playing, it's just all experience. I mean, he's talented. He's a good quarterback. He's obviously can handle things very well, to even handle what the pressure that was put on him last year. I don't know if you saw him at SEC Media Day last year. He was like Beyonce walking into the podium. Like, there was so much fanfare around him. But I think last year, extremely overhyped, over talked about. It wasn't fair to him. This year, I actually think he's under talked about because I think he's going to have a really good season. And they got a very talented team. Now I know he's losing a lot of offensive firepower, but I mean, I'm sure they've reloaded. I can't, begin to tell you the details of their receiving core roster and the background of them. But I do know that I think he's under talked about and undervalued going into this year, as much as he was over talked about last year.
John Mateer is a young man that I got to meet at the Manning Passing Academy a year ago. And when I walked up to him, I thought he's a linebacker because the way he's built, not a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he was a huge difference maker for them last year before the injury. Now, they still made the playoff, Oklahoma did, but you could tell that he was not quite himself because of the injury. He's coming back for another year. What do you think the ceiling is for him and the Sooners offense in 2026?
I don't know about for him individually what I'd put as a metric for a ceiling. They made the playoff last year when he had surgery the week that they played Texas on his thumb on his throwing hand.
Yeah.
Pretty important part of your body for a quarterback. I think, and yeah, I'm talking about this right after I said this about Arch. I think nobody is really talking about John Mateer right now. And if I had to like right now pick a team that I would pick to make a run, like have the potential to make a run in the playoffs that not everybody's talking about right now, would be them. Like they made the playoffs last year with a quarterback who didn't have a throwing hand.
Yeah.
Let's not forget what John Mateer did before he got to Oklahoma and the type of player he is. So
he can sling it.
He can sling it, and he can maneuver, and he can make plays.
And he's tough as nails.
And he is, and from all reports that we see, he's a great leader too. So they've brought in Jason Witten's their tight end. Like they could be a scary sight to see this. I say scary. It's all going to come down to a couple of games whether
correct
if you're meeting expectations or not. So we'll see.
And it looks like Brent Venables too is eased into that role as the head coach the last couple of years. A great defensive-minded coach. It felt like maybe people were a little too high on Lenore Sellers last year. There was a lot of talk about him and about South Carolina. He struggled, and they struggled as a team. Do you think he's can have a bounce back year this year, or do you think maybe the flaws in his game were exposed last year?
Well, he didn't have a lot of help around him.
That's fair.
I don't know if he's got much more help this year. So I don't see much. If I had a crystal ball right now, I don't see this year. Tell me how it's going to be that much different. I don't know. Now I hope he does. It seems like a really good kid, a very talented, very physically gifted. He passed his eyeball test. I saw him last year at SEC Media Days. I was like, that guy, he might win 3 Heismans this year. I have no idea. But it's but it just for whatever reason didn't all come together, and I don't know if it will or not. You always talk about Lenore Sellers, and everybody's like, what about that one half against LSU where if he didn't get hurt, they beat him? Like, yeah, but like, what else?
It's fair.
So that's
it's fair.
But you've seen the glimpses, and I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. I'd like to see him do well.
And you do wonder about the pressure that he's going to be under because his coach is on the hot seat as well, and that plays a huge role, right? There's a lot of uncertainty, and people worry about that. We'll get you out of here with this, brother.
Yeah.
Who has more question marks at quarterback? Is it Tennessee or is it Alabama this year?
Ooh, good question. Well, you've seen there's a lot of teams. Look at the roster of how many teams didn't bring quarterbacks to SEC Media Day. For whatever reason, I would assume a lot of these coaches want to keep the illusion of competition, even if there's not like Sam Levitt not being here. Maybe Lane wanted to keep the illusion of a competition. Missouri with Austin Simmons. Maybe they just don't want to like anoint him going. Whatever their reason, they have their reasons.
Right.
But Tennessee and Alabama, true quarterback competition. So
yeah,
whatever. For a lot of those teams, whoever gets the keys of the car, it's going to be a pretty good car. So we'll see how it plays out. See how they drive it.
Is there a team you mentioned Oklahoma that could be like a sneaky good team? Is there a team that maybe you're the most fascinated by? Obviously outside of LSU, but Is there another team or teams that you're looking at going, maybe because they have a new coach, maybe they have a new approach that you're going, man, maybe they could be pretty good this year? Because there's been a lot of chatter about Auburn.
There is a lot of chatter. I maybe I'll feel differently after this week, after I study them a little bit more and hear Coach talk. I think they're tomorrow, right? I think they're here tomorrow. Maybe I'll feel a little bit different. I hadn't seen it. I don't see it quite yet, but Oklahoma's the one for me. And I know I said that Oklahoma is that team that, depending on how John Mateer does, I mean, they have a shot in the roster. No one's going to line up on the field with them and be like, yeah, that team's just better than Oklahoma. Like, there's not going to be any team that lines up. And there's better. Like, we'll see how the games play out. They might not win. They might lose 3-4 games. I don't know. But there's, I think they're going to put a team on the field that's going to be pretty darn good. But I think everybody's intrigued by LSU. Yeah, that's the big one. That's the biggie right there.
Matt.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Appreciate the time,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Thank you so much. It's Matt Flynn, LSU National Championship winning quarterback turned
Give me away
radio
from this
host.
background.
Yeah. He pushed through. He pushed through, even with the Florida Gator logo behind him. We appreciate his time. We got to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1, get an update on the poll question of the day. That's all next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
How many delicious small sliders can you eat? Well, you can find out by taking part in the Lafayette Small Sliders Eating Contest held during the Lafayette Anniversary Bash this Saturday at 4611 Ambassador Caffrey Parkway. During the location's Anniversary Bash, which also features bounce houses, games for the kids, live music, and more, there will be, of course, the coveted eating contest where you can score a cash prize. To sign up and see if you have what it takes to win the contest, visit ESPNSouthwestLouisiana.com and click on the Smalls Sliders sign-up sheet.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Around Acadiana, community means supporting the businesses that make our hometown special. That's why we're proud to spotlight local companies that are certified South Louisiana.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, there are national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm. The Bryson Law Firm, LSB filing number LA2519684.
August 15th is the date for the 12th annual Fête du Teche boat procession down the Bayou Teche. The day begins with Mass en Francais with Bishop Desatel at 8 a.m. at St. Leo's Church in Leonville. The boats then depart for a Eucharistic boat procession ending in St. Martinville. Register your boat today or find out more information at fêteduteche.org or by liking their Facebook page. Don't miss the 12th annual Fête du Teche, Saturday, August 15th.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With Meche.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch Meet TV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
It's the conference where everything just means more, including talking season. Everybody! Back to more SEC Media Days from Tampa coverage on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Oh, welcome back into RP3 and Meche as we broadcast live from Radio Row here inside, well, lovely Tampa, Florida. Lovely Tampa. There's rain outside right now. People were very upset about that. The locals, they got very upset about that. Look, all of our thrilling coverage and great start to the week. Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. And then we just wrapped up our interview with Matt Flynn. He was tremendous, giving us a breakdown of the quarterbacks here in the SEC. All of our coverage, not only on Radio Row, but on social media, on our Facebook, X, and our YouTube channel, and our website, ESPNSouthwestLouisiana.com, is brought to you by our friends at Service Chevrolet Cadillac. We couldn't have done it without them. Greatly appreciate them. And I want to tell you about some great deals they have going on right now that you need to know about. Every new Chevrolet from Service Chevrolet Cadillac comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Limited powertrain warranty. And look, you're going to get 0% financing for 5 years and make no payments until after Labor Day on a 2026 Trax and a 2026 Equinox. Okay? 0% APR for 60 months on a 2026 Silverado 1500. I said it. 0% APR for 60 months on a 2026 Silverado 1500. All types of great deals. And look, if you're not looking for a new car, remember they buy vehicles and will give you top dollar. They're your one-stop shop for all your Chevy needs, new and pre-owned sales, certified service, body shop, genuine GM parts, and the fine line custom accessories. And don't forget about the wash. All at Acadiana's #1 Chevrolet dealership, Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Greatly appreciate them being our sponsor for all of our SEC Media Days coverage. Mr. Meche, back inside the Bill and Bear studios there in Upper Lafayette. This has been a strong start to our coverage, my friend. Let's revisit that poll question of the day. We didn't get a chance to discuss it or share any comments. Let's go ahead and do that right now, my bud.
Yeah, we're a little up against the break, so we'll do more of talking about it to start off hour number 2. But as of right now, Table A has got the majority of the votes. We've gotten love for B and D as well. Table C, just not getting as much. It's got 14%, but leading the way is Table A with 43%.
Keep those votes coming. We're going to share your comments after we come back to kick off hour number 2. This is RP3 and Meche, live from Tampa for SEC Media Days, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Get ready for one of South Louisiana's favorite summer traditions. The 17th annual STM Fishing Rodeo is July 31st and August 1st at Quintana Landing in Sippermore Point. Whether you're chasing the winning catch or just looking for a great weekend on the water, enjoy great fishing, exciting prizes, delicious food, and a fun atmosphere, all while supporting St. Thomas More Catholic High School. Register by July 24th at noon to guarantee your official event t-shirt. Register today at stmcougars.net/fishing.
And now time for the Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
Ever wonder why bugs seem to love your home as much as you do? One big reason: moisture. Roaches, termites, and ants are drawn to damp areas. Check under sinks, around windows, and in attics for leaks and excess moisture. A little home maintenance goes a long way in keeping pests out. Got unwanted guests? Call Sugarland Exterminating at 337-367-1414 or visit sugarlandexterminating.com for more information.
Sugarland Exterminating. Pest-free environment we're creating. Spiders, roaches, rats, and mice. Those awful termites are not so nice. Get rid of all your pests right now. Call Sugarland Exterminating.
Termites, they're here. They're invasive. They can destroy your home if left untreated. Sugarland Exterminating has been in business for over 50 years, and they have the experience to effectively treat termites. Call 367-1414 or visit sugarlandexterminating.com.
And that has been your Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
When strength matters, go to apfabllp.com. Precision built to last, from heavy-duty aluminum structural welding using TIG, MIG, and stick to custom metal fabrication designed exactly for your project. Need safety inspections, weld analysis, or 24-hour metal repairs? Trust A&P to get the job done. For quality craftsmanship and dependable service, visit apfabllp.com. That's apfabllp.com. A&P Fabrication and Construction. Built strong, built right.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Karen Crow Lafayette, KLCJ FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up!
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys! Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros were swept at home by the Baltimore Orioles this past weekend after returning from the All-Star break. That puts their record at 47-54 on the season. Next up is a home series versus the Miami Marlins. Game 1 is tonight with first pitch from Dyken Park scheduled for 7:10, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Spain is your 2026 World Cup winner after they took down the defending champion Argentinians 1-0 on Sunday. Ferran Torres scored the lone goal in the 106th minute to help his country hoist the trophy for the second time. SEC Media Days from Tampa, Florida begin today as RP3 and Meche and the Lowdown with D'Lo will broadcast live from there through Thursday. Today's teams that will be available at the podium and on the floor are the head coach and players from Kentucky, Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Ryan Fox won the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale Golf Course in Southport, England with a score of 10 under to capture his first major and first PGA Tour win since June of last year. Cameron Young was in the lead until he bogeyed multiple holes in the back nine yesterday. The Oklahoma City Thunder were part of a 3-team trade that sent Lou Dort to the Atlanta Hawks for 3 second-round picks. The Hawks will get Andrew Nembhard, and the Dallas Mavericks as the third team will get former number 1 overall pick Zachary Rizache. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Hour number 2 has arrived here on RP3 and Meche as we broadcast live from Radio Row here at SEC Media Days in Tampa. I'm the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3. And we are, of course, all of our coverage is presented by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. They are back there. They're having great deals. We just talked about them last hour. We'll talk about them again. You can get every new Chevrolet from Service Chevrolet. It comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. So make sure you take advantage of that when you can. Go out there today, go out there tomorrow. It does not matter. James, we're going to have an impromptu guest here. So if you don't mind, can you give us a quick update on the poll question of the day, if you don't mind, sir?
Absolutely. Which table would you sit at when it comes to these SEC coaches? We had to divvy up some of them because we know how rowdy they can get. At table A, we've got LSU's Lane Kiffin, Arkansas's Ryan Silverfield, Eli Drinkwitz with Missouri, and Josh Heupel with Tennessee. With Georgia, we've got over at table B, we've got Georgia's Kirby Smart, Will Stein at Kentucky, Pete Golding with LSU, and then Jeff Levy with Mississippi State. Table C's got Steve Sarkisian at Texas, Alex Golish with Auburn, Brent Venables with Oklahoma, and then Shane Beamer at South Carolina, and then Table D to round it off, Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, Mike Elko at Texas A&M, Clark Lee with Vandy, and then John Sommerall at Florida. As of right now, 43% are going with Table A, and then it's pretty close after that, 23% going with Table B, 18% apiece towards C and D.
There we go. There we go. So keep voting on our poll question of the day and leave your comments on Facebook and on X and on, of course, on our YouTube channel as well. And we'd love to hear from you as always. Well, now we're joined. This is what happens when you're on. This is what happens when you're on Radio Row. Guests come pop up. We're excited to have someone here who's a returning starter for the Kentucky Wildcats. Starting safety Ty Bryant joins us now. Ty, thank you for making the time, bud.
Sir,
Appreciate
thank
you,
you for
man.
having
Thank
me.
you so much. All right, let's start there. Let's talk a little bit about what's this experience like for you? I mean, there's more than 40 radio stations here and TV and SEC Network and ESPN. There's a lot going on. People are, what's the experience been like for you today, man?
It's been amazing. I mean, we just got here probably an hour ago. We just did our local media, but I walked down here and we were just following one of our media personnels, and then we got to this room, and I was like, oh snap! Like, there's a lot of cameras, and they told us, but I think it's one of those things and one of those feelings that you never truly feel until you get put into the spot. So just being able to see it, it's a joy, and I'm glad I'm here.
What does it mean to you to have the honor and to have the distinction to represent your team and your teammates here at SEC Media Days?
It means a lot. I mean, I'm happy that I was a guy that they thought was trustworthy to come down here and represent us in the right way, represent the fan base, represent the coaching staff, represent my family who stays in Kentucky, represent my teammates. So I mean, it means the world to me, and I'm just so happy that they allow me just to come here and do it.
Why was it important for you to come back? Obviously you guys had the coaching change, but you decided to come back.
Yes, sir. I just trusted what Coach Stein had told me. That's a guy who's been to the college football playoffs, and that's where I ultimately want to go. And also Coach Bateman. I mean, he came from Texas A&M, but he also was in the college football playoffs. And just sitting there and having multiple conversations with them and multiple conversations with my family. And I'm a big guy when it comes to praying and my faith. And I just felt led just to come back here, and my job wasn't over with coming wearing the blue and white.
For you, you guys went 5-7 last year, 2-6 in the SEC. But watching you guys play, it felt like you guys were better than that. If that makes any sense. And is that how it felt for you as a player and one of the leaders on that team to be like, you know what, yeah, we're better than what our record said it was, and I want to come back here and change that. I want to be able to turn this thing around.
Yes, sir, definitely. I mean, when you go through all the summer conditioning, and you go through the fall camp, and just seeing the guys on an everyday basis, seeing the ability and the talent that they can do, and when you know that certain people aren't living up to the expectation, not certain people, but just the team, we're not living up to the expectation. It just creates a different type of fire in you. And I mean, I wanted to come back here just to set the record straight, to just show people that we're still the same old Kentucky team that is a force, and that's what we need to be this year.
What have been some of the things that you've been working on this off season and heading into fall camp to make you a better all around starting defensive back in the SEC?
I think things that you can not get too good at, which is man-to-man coverage, the tackling, ball skills. I work a lot on just those things, and my breaks as well, just to make sure if I have a chance just to get the ball, that I don't take a false step. And seconds is the difference between a pick, a tackle, and a PBU. So just trying to make sure that I dot all my I's and cross all my T's when I'm on the field.
What's it like for you when you're on the field and you're lined up and you're having to deal with wide receivers who tend to talk a lot? They tend to yap a little bit, tend to talk trash. Are you the type of guy that just maybe talks a little bit back, or are you the type of guy that just is silent and just kind of looks at him and goes, okay?
Yeah, mostly I'm a guy that's silent. Very seldom will you catch me saying something to them. But my dad always preached, never get too high, never get too low. So
Even
I
keel
just
is
yes sir, yeah,
yeah,
I just try to stay even killed throughout the entire game, and let my play do the talking for me.
Oh, we're talking with Kentucky senior safety Ty Bryant. He joins us here on RP3 and Mesh as we broadcast from Radio Row here for SEC Media Days. You talked a little bit about the stuff that you were doing physically to improve your overall game, your skill set. But what about your leadership? When I look at this defense, you got 3 returning starters. and two of your seniors, one's a junior, which means naturally they're going to be looking to you to kind of set the tone, right? Whether not only on game day, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? So, what are some of the things that you have done to kind of embrace being one of the leaders of this team?
I mean, just encouraging some guys because I understand, especially being a young guy, um, the young guys that we have, like not every day is going to be perfect, but just continue just to try to get them motivated and try to get them ready to go because you never know. You never know what may happen. My freshman year, I got thrown into the fire because another one of our safeties got hurt. And if I wasn't ready for that moment, if I didn't have the leaders that took me under the wing and got me ready each and every single week, whether I was playing or not, I don't know if I've been ready for that moment. But yeah, just staying on them and making sure that they're prepared every single week just in case anything happens.
How do you deal with in like this new era of, the roster turns over and you guys are bringing in transfers and everything? How do you, as a guy that's been already on the team, how do you incorporate those guys? Because it's got to be a bit of a challenge. Not only are you getting like freshmen to come in, right, or guys from the JUCO, but other transfers that are coming in. How do you build that bond? Like, what's the kind of the key to be able to do that? Because if you guys are not together, if you're not one, if you don't have your brother's back, so to speak, it's not going to work on the field, no matter how talented you guys may be. So
Right.
how important has that been to kind of mesh everyone together?
I think it's been real important. I mean, team chemistry, connection, that's one of our DNA traits. So that's what we try to do. And no matter if that's eating with a different position group or just spending time with a different position group or just different people in general, just to have that chemistry and that bond with people and just to know when we get on the field on Saturdays, you have my back. And Coach Stein says it all the time, the most connected team is going to win. And I think the coaching staff does an amazing job by planning events for us to do, just to help us with those bonds and to know your brother. And one thing for me too, I remember my high school DC used to always say this: in order to lead someone, you have to know that their background. You have to know their background because you could yell at a guy and it does nothing to him, and you could also not yell at a guy and have he has all the motivation in the world because you didn't yell at him. Like people take things differently. So the only way you know that is if you actually have like a real deal personal connection with them.
We'll wrap it up with this. Are you ready to help this team, to help the Wildcats surprise some folks this year, be able to turn around this program and maybe shock a few folks along the way?
Absolutely, absolutely. I see the work that we do each and every single day, and I can't wait for it to be shown on Saturdays. But we worried about game one.
Ty, thank you for making the time,
Thank
man.
you. Yes,
Best
sir.
of luck this season.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so
You as
much.
well.
Thank you so much. That's Kentucky senior safety Ty Bryant joining us here on Radio Row. Greatly appreciate him making the time and our friends at the University of Kentucky to making that happen. We greatly appreciate that as well. This is what happens, man. This is what happens. This is what I love. Radio Row, James, is that we reach out to folks and then we get an impromptu player interview just coming down Radio Row. We had reached out and they said, "Hey, if we can make it happen, we'll make it happen." And here we are. We had to kick off poor BP. He was gonna be making his RP3 and Mesh Radio Row debut, and we had to push him aside. But when you got a starting safety in the SEC, producers have to be pushed aside. Sometimes hosts have to be pushed aside. You understand that, James?
Oh, I absolutely understand. I was trying to figure out what was going on because I couldn't see from the other side, obviously, if you're paying attention to either the TV or the YouTube broadcast. You were a little distracted. BP was distracted. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, something has to be happening. And then all of a sudden you're like, impromptu interview. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
It was amazing. It was amazing. A young man, and look, we've heard this now a couple of times. Kentucky could be a team. They have the new coach. They hit the portal hard. You can win at Kentucky. Like we've seen them be a perennial bowl team and upset the apple cart for some of the bigger contenders year in year out. That's happened. Like that's happened more times than we think it has in the last 20 years. Having a young man like that, a senior, embracing that leadership role, very good player. Love to see that. And Kentucky could be a surprise team for sure. Starting to hear some rumblings of that here along Radio Row today on Monday. All right, let's get to some comments on that poll question of the day if we can, Mr. Mesh.
Oh, absolutely. We got to the results a little bit earlier, but as of right now, if you look at it, a lot of people are going, of course, with A, where it features Lane Kiffin. That's to be expected. But we do have quite a few people that have gone in other directions, including JBK, who says he's actually going with Table D just because he thinks he could have them throwing fists by about 2 to 3 drinks into the night. And then speaking of throwing things, Tyler Shuck will be throwing his first pass of 2026 in 55 days. Even when you look towards Ton, he says, I can get my money back because I choose A because I'd love to pick Lane's brain about strategy and Hype's brain about how to run off fans. Ooh.
Wow.
A little bit of a shot there. A little bit of a shot.
Some saltiness there. Some saltiness in the comment section.
Oh, and there's more. Texas Troy says, Table C, hook 'em. Not shocked there. Floozy is going with C. He wants to hear from Golish and what he has to say. Florida Strong, he's going just saying straight up Table B. And then you got some other guys like Ralph saying A, though I suspect Lane may spend all the time on his phone trolling on X, but I have someone to have a drink with. And then you've even got Dave, who just, look, we've got some people that have gone off the rails before. I think Dave really went off the rails with this one. He said, I'll sit at the retired Table E. Lil Nicky, Roll Tide, Pat Dye, War Eagle, Steve Spurrier, Swamp, Vince Dooley, Uga.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vince has passed, so he'd be there in spirit.
Yeah, and then his legit answer was Table D.
Of course. Oh, man. Keep those votes coming on our poll question of the day. Which table would you sit at when it comes to SEC coaches? We split it up into 4 different tables. Interesting options there. Kind of fascinating. So keep that going and keep leaving your questions and your comments, if you will, on Facebook, on X, and on our YouTube channel, ESPN Southwest Louisiana. So don't forget about that because you can watch us on our stream every day while we're here at SEC Media Days this week. So we're excited about that. So keep doing that, keep voting, keep leaving your comments as well. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to have got to catch up with Jake Crane from Crane and Cone earlier. Got to do that before the festivities got crazy here at SEC Media Days, and we looked ahead to the season and talked about multiple teams. So got a nice interview with Jake Crane that's coming up next right here on RP3 and Meche as we broadcast live from Radio Row here in Tampa for SEC Media Days. And, of course, all of our coverage is powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
It's time to get ready for one of South Louisiana's favorite summer traditions. The 17th annual STM Fishing Rodeo is July 31st to August 1st at Quintana Landing in Sycamore Point. Whether you're chasing the winning catch or just looking for a great weekend on the water, enjoy great fishing, exciting prizes, delicious food, and a fun atmosphere, all while supporting STM Catholic High School. If you register by July 24th, you will be guaranteed an official event t-shirt. Register today at stmcougars.net/fishing.
Make sure to set your alarm and tune in Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock for Sports Shorts here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Join me, Ronnie Rance, and the Sports Shorts team of Tommy Christsan, Hunter McCann, and the crazy man, Joel Davis, as we break down the sports and teams that you love. The LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, and everything in between. Tune in Saturday mornings from 10 to noon for Sports Shorts here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Summer just got tastier at Mama's Fried Chicken. For a limited time, enjoy our 2-piece dark dinner for only $4.99. Or feed the family with our 8-piece dark chicken, only $7.49. Hot, fresh, and made the way you love it since 1977. With over 20 homemade items, Mama's is sure to please. Stop by our new convenient location in New Iberia and our 2 locations in Opelousas. Don't miss these sizzling summer deals, only at Mama's Fried Chicken. Mama's Fried Chicken, Mama loves you.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking, so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit duplessisbuilders.net.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one number 1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perished in the line of duty, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on United States Deputy Sheriff's Association, please visit usdeputy.org.
It's the conference where everything just means more, including talking season. Everybody! Back to more SEC Media Days from Tampa coverage on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
It's time for us to dive into the upcoming season, and there's no one better to do that than our next guest here on our first day at SEC Media Days in lovely Tampa, Florida. And we're going to do so with a man who talks about the SEC all the time. He's the host of the national sports show, Crane and Cone. It's our good friend, Jake Crane, joins us now. Jake, good day to you. Talking season has arrived, brother.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you guys having me on. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Yeah, and it's getting close, man. It's getting close. We're, almost a month out. Let's get through media days. It's going to be fun. It always is. Let's go ahead and get to kickoff. My body is ready.
Your body is ready, and so is your mind and soul, like the rest of us. I want to start off here looking at two of the new head coaches in the SEC, and I want to start off with a team that you know extremely well, and that's the Auburn Tigers. I thought when they hired Hugh Freeze that it was a decent enough hire. He was an offensive-minded coach. He had good success at Ole Miss. His Liberty teams were pretty good as well. It never worked out. The offense never could get it together, and they treaded water for more than a few years. And they've turned now to Alex Golesh from South Florida. I actually think this is a really good fit, and I like the fact that he's brought in a lot of his players that played for him there with the Bulls. I'm not saying that this could be Kurt Signetti leaving JMU for Indiana, but it could be an easier transition than we think. And I actually kind of like Auburn this year as a sleeper team. What says you?
Yeah, you raised some good points. The Hugh Freeze operation obviously didn't work out. You can't miss at quarterback 3 years in a row. Auburn had some other problems. You look at crunch time, clutch time, whatever you want to call it. They found a way to lose games. They didn't find a way to win them, and you missed at quarterback. You can't be an offensive guru and miss at quarterback. What I like about the Golesh hire at Auburn, and I think you can say the same thing for the Summerall hire at Florida, is I think mentality-wise, it is an upgrade. Golish is an offensive guy. Joel Gordon's going to call the plays. You're going to get that wide choice look that you've watched Heupel do. You watched Art Briles really kind of invent in a certain way, and other guys have run with it. But I like the overall mentality. It is a no-nonsense. Listen, you should want to be a good person to be a good person. Like that doesn't excuse you from saying, well, winning really doesn't matter as much. Well, now the players are getting paid over the table. We know what the coaches make. We know what these teams mean to the economy. Winning matters. And you are judged off wins and losses, not by how many Girl Scout cookies you bought or how many old ladies you walked across the street. In this business, it is about winning and losing and doing what you need to do to win. I think Golish has that mindset. I think it's a more intense overall kind of identity for a team. And I think, again, there's a lot of parallels to Summerall in that way. That's why those were the two top guys that I wanted Auburn to get, and they got one of them. So, yeah, I think he's done a really good job as far as retooling the roster. You bring up Signetti, bringing his core of JMU guys to Indiana and what that meant. Obviously, it helps the learning curve. You know who your team leaders are. It kind of puts you a little further in the pole position at the start of the race. But make no mistake, what happens on the field is going to dictate the feeling, and it should at this level.
How critical was it for him to retain DJ Durkin to be the defensive coordinator?
In the same way, I think I just talked about bringing in Byron Brown. The learning curve is shortened. It's shortened by a lot, and it helps player retention because they know who they're playing for. And again, I like to use parallels. It's very similar to Lane keeping Blake Baker at LSU. It just takes a huge slice out of the pie away early, and you're setting yourself up to be able to have success quicker outside of everybody having to feel each other out, and it's a new system, and it's new verbiage and things like that. So and he's a great coach, right? You're gaining a lot. It's not like you just kept the guy for one of those factors I mentioned. He's also a dadgum good football coach. So I think it's huge, and I think it speeds up the timeline and speeds up the process, which is what it's about.
You mentioned John Summerall at Florida. And ever since Urban Meyer left, they have turned to guys that have had head coaching experience elsewhere, and a lot of them have been national championship assistants at bigger-time programs. Will Muschamp, Jim McElwain, Dan Mullen, Billy Napier. All those guys can coach, but it hasn't worked out at Florida. What makes you think John Summerall, who formerly has been the head coach at both Tulane and at Troy, is going to be able to kind of turn this around and make Florida a team that's going to be contending for the college football playoff again?
Well, a lot of it, and when I say this, I don't mean you have to be born in a place to win in a place. We've seen Nick Saban. He was born in West Virginia, had no problem going to Alabama, played at Kent State, this, that, and the other. I do think at certain places and big places, there is a type of ego and attitude that you have to be successful. Let me ask you this. Who are the most successful coaches that we can remember at Florida? Who were those guys?
Well, it was Steve Spurrier and it was Urban Meyer.
Yep. What do they have in common? They both are unbelievably confident in their abilities, and they will tell you about it. John is that same way. You can ask him. He's going to tell you what he thinks. He says it gets him in trouble when he talks to his wife. And believe me, I understand that. I just, outside of and the term militaristic can be taken in a bad way. Billy Napier and Hugh Freeze, I think, had some things in common as far as the way they went about the relationships with the players in the program. This isn't just about just being nice. And, hey, man, as long as we all make memories, like remember that time we all went to Golden Corral and got in the food fight? That's not what this is about. It is about not getting penalties on special teams. It is about not turning the ball over and being cognizant of it. It is about understanding that your role, even if you're a backup, is as important as it being a starter. It's a machine. That's what you're building. That's what John does. And I love the hires. Everybody talks about Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech, and that's a fantastic hire. I know Buster. He is a witch when it comes to the run game, maneuvering the pocket, and he wants to build off of what he's done if he can throw it well enough. But getting Brad White from Kentucky, was one of the most underrated hires in all of college football that nobody is talking about. This dude does more with less. He's got some Mike Elko in him. He's got some Mike Elko in him. So I love the staff he put together. But, again, it is the mindset. And Florida has the capability, and they are showing that they can get the best players in the country. It's still a destination place. So you put all those things together, I think John's ego, and I mean this in a positive way, is the perfect mix at Florida. I really do.
Alabama makes the playoff last year, and they win a playoff game. And it wasn't a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination, but they did do that, right? And but it feels like, Jake, that they didn't do that. It feels like the entire offseason narrative is that, boy, Kalen DeBoer's on the hot seat, which is an odd thing to say, but once again, Alabama, I say it all the time, the expectations for the Alabama football team are like the LSU baseball team and the Kentucky men's basketball team. They're unrealistic, and the expectation is national title every single year. Give me your thoughts about the Crimson Tide. They only return one starter on offense, and that's Ryan, now Coleman hyphen Williams. Hopefully he can learn how to catch the ball better this year. I don't know what to make of Alabama and all the things swirling around them.
Well, I mean, when you look at this Alabama team, the lack of the ability to run the ball is just crazy to watch at Alabama when you grew up in the era that I did, and you grew up in the era that some of these old heads, when Bear was there, they're still around, did. Watching them struggle to run the ball is crazy. And I really don't think people appreciated what Ty Simpson did last year. I mean, Alabama was like the 121st ranked rushing team. He had never started a full season before in college and goes out there and does what he did. That is an anomaly. That typically doesn't happen. Now, he had sat for a little while, so it wasn't like it was his first year out of high school doing it. But when you look at Alabama this year, the death sentence recipe, if you want to have a season go haywire, have a brand-new starting quarterback and don't be able to run the ball.
Ugh.
You have those two things together, that is an absolute nightmare, because as a guy that coached defense for a long time, we can sit here and say, don't worry about what the offense does, but when it's Game 7 and we can't score more than 17 points, we start feeling some type of way about it, and it affects you. So that's where I'm worried about Alabama. Now, if they can run the ball, they're going to have a chance to be pretty good offensively with the weapons that are around the quarterback. But that's a big if, and they've got to prove it to me. As far as the fans, I mean, again, look, these people have been conditioned. It's either you're the king or you burn the city down. Like, there's no, I'm the hand of the king or I'm the master of coin. I've been watching House of Dragons. That's why the Game of Thrones is coming up. But,
nice.
Like, you're either the king or we're going to burn this whole thing down or poison everyone. And it's just like what you're seeing a little bit with Clemson fans now. You know, Dabo gave them the filet. You know, he took them to the 5-star restaurants. They were going to Dubai for 2 weeks every summer. Well, now they're eating bologna sandwiches on Lake Eufaula, and they're upset about it. Like, that's just the way fans work.
It's a good point. We're talking with Jake Cray, host of the national sports show Crane and Cone, right here on RP3 and Meche as we're in Tampa for SEC Media Days. I want to talk about Ole Miss because here in Louisiana – all the fans here are ready for Ole Miss to burn to the ground. They're ready for them to be irrelevant again, so forth and so forth. And the bad blood between the two programs, they're going to make a 30 for 30 about it. But I keep going back to this. I know Lane is gone, and I know the OC is gone. I understand all that. But I also look at this team and I go, 3 of their starting 5 offensive linemen are back. They have a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback back. And they have an absolute stud future NFL running back. And they have a bunch of their guys on defense back as well. I know here in Louisiana, we want to see Ole Miss go 7-5 and go to the Independence Bowl. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I agree with you 100%. And, you know, I think anybody that doesn't think Trinidad Chambliss is the best quarterback in the country coming back, I don't know what season you watched last year, which is crazy to say with everything that happened. But everybody talks about Trinidad and Lacey, and I get it. It's the best duo backfield in the country. It just is. You can hate them, you can not like them, this, that, or the other, but the truth is the truth. But what they have around them, you brought up the offensive line. I like what they did in the transfer portal. They got from Miami. Kinsler, I think is his last name, has got a chance to be a pretty good player. We'll see if Kern can live up to his ability finally. I know he didn't really at LSU. Can he figure it out at Ole Miss? The wide receiver group's underrated. We know Deuce is a dog. We know Cunningham can do it. We know Odom's a problem at Flex Y. But this Jonte Cook kid they got from Syracuse, if the off-the-field stuff, if everybody can just be quiet, he's nasty now. Like, he's really with it. He's a really, really talented player. But the scariest part about Ole Miss, I think, is the point you brought up, is defensively. You got Eccles back. He's a first-rounder. No doubt first-rounder, in my opinion. Perkins, coming off the edge, can stand up, can do things, can mix it up. They've got a couple young guys they've been developing that I think can help them on the interior of the defensive line. And then in the back end, you have a decent amount of experience coming back, really good experience. And I'm telling you, they got Jay Crawford from Auburn at corner. He can play. He can really play. So this Ole Miss team is going to be really good. But I think you can say something similar about Ole Miss and LSU. Both are really, really, really good rosters. I'm higher on Sam Leavitt than anybody, but the schedule is really, really difficult. So not only do you have to play really, really well, you have to play really, really well more than a lot of other teams do. So that's going to tell the story.
We got to take a quick time out, but more with Jake Crane from SEC Media Days here in Tampa, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Dustin Mucor is helping your kids head back to school in style, powered by Cosmetology's Training Center. This school year, we want to ease the pain on the pocketbook for parents by giving them free haircuts this Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is for kids ages 5 to 12 only. A parent or guardian must be present and sign a waiver for the free haircut. So join us at Cosmetology Training Center at 5520 Johnson Street this Wednesday for free back-to-school haircuts.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we got to go fast now.
The Houston Astros were swept at home by the Baltimore Orioles this past weekend after returning from the All-Star break. That puts their record at 47-54 on the season. Next up is a home series versus the Miami Marlins. Game 1 is tonight with first pitch from Dyken Park scheduled for 7:10, and you can listen to the action on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Spain is your 2026 World Cup winner after they took down the defending champion Argentinians 1-0 on Sunday. Ferran Torres scored the lone goal in the 106th minute to help his country hoist the trophy for the second time. SEC Media Days from Tampa, Florida begin today as RP3 and Meche and the Lowdown with D'Lo will broadcast live from there through Thursday. Today's teams that will be available at the podium and on the floor are the head coach and players from Kentucky, Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Ryan Fox won the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale Golf Course in Southport, England, with a score of 10 under to capture his first major and first PGA Tour win since June of last year. Cameron Young was in the lead until he bogeyed multiple holes in the back nine yesterday. The Oklahoma City Thunder were part of a three-team trade that sent Lou Dort to the Atlanta Hawks for 3 second-round picks. The Hawks will get Andrew Nembhard, and the Dallas Mavericks as the third team will get former number 1 overall pick, Zachary Rizashe. I'm James Meche, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Meche and the Lowdown with D'Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses, the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Black's Outdoor and Marine is Acadiana's Spartan Mower headquarters. Spartan Mowers, delivering more mowing power and performance. Black's has commercial and residential Spartan mowers with Kawasaki motors in stock now and ready to cut. Black's also has parts, service, and financing available. Call 337-233-4272. That's 337-233-4272 or stop by 1423 Northwest Evangeline Thruway in Lafayette. Black's Outdoor and Marine, serving Acadiana since 1968.
Looking for a great deal on golf this summer? Head to Farm de Alley Golf Course for the Sizzlin' Summer Special. Every Tuesday through Thursday, tee off anytime between noon and 3:30 and enjoy 18 holes of championship golf, including a cart for just $55. That's unbeatable summer golf at an unbeatable price. Gather your friends, sharpen your game, and make the most of your afternoons at Farm de Alley Golf Course. Book your tee time today and take advantage of the Sizzlin' Summer Special, only at Farm de Alley.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch Meet TV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Want to get caught up on everything that happened today at the circus that is SEC Media Days in Tampa?
Yeah.
Not to worry. We've got you covered. Back to more SEC football talk on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Jake Crane from Crane and Cone rejoins us here on RP3 and Meche as we are broadcasting from Tampa for SEC Media Days. Of course, all of our coverage is powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Jake, you had mentioned the Lane Train in LSU a little bit earlier, and that's where I want to go next. He leaves Ole Miss, tries to burn it to the ground, so to speak. It's very contentious between the two programs, but he comes here. The roster is loaded. It's north of $40 million, allegedly, and the expectations are through the roofs. Not like, oh, you're going to have a couple of years of building this up. No, the expectation in Baton Rouge is for Lane Kiffin to make the college football playoff in year one. Do you agree with that?
Well, regardless who the coach is at LSU, the pressure's as high as it's going to be anywhere, and that's a compliment. That's a privilege. That's why you signed up for it. The reason the pressure's like that is because you're in a pressure cooker that if you get hot enough, you can blow up all of college football. That's why. So I actually, take my hat off to Lane. He wants it. He wants to be in that place. A lot of guys don't want that. A lot of guys want to be the guy that raises up a place and then they can just kind of coast a little bit. That's not what Lane wanted. Lane wanted all of that smoke. And I think you have to separate this Lane from old Lane, from Tennessee Lane, USC Lane. I think he's kind of he's a different breed now. It's a similar personality, but he's been through a lot of the battles at this point. So to me, I don't think you take this job if you're scared. I don't think you take this job if you're worried in the spotlight. And you are at a place now where every resource is available. The taxpayers will line up if you're winning. They'll line up to pay in that state when you win. That's just part of the job. But I look at this roster, where's the weakness at? We can talk about Sam Levitt's foot. I think the reason he's not going to SEC Media Days because I don't know if – you guys know this, but people out there don't know. Those guys walk around the whole time for the whole day. I wouldn't want him. Well, I don't care about the press conference. I know it's weird to say about a Lane Kiffin team. I don't care about winning the media days. I want to get on the plane, go there, not say anything stupid, come back, and then let's go win on the field. Because you can win media days, you lose games, you ain't going to be at the next media days. So I think the roster's set. I think these guys are hungry. I think Lane knows how to design an offense and has figured out how to design a team. And look who he kept Blake. Keeping Blake was the biggest thing. And you bring Charlie Weiss Jr. over. So basically, you didn't change the machine. You just got a bigger battery that lasts longer.
It's a good point. I do think Sam's health may be the wild card there, and that schedule is brutal. To have to play Clemson, A&M, Alabama, Texas, like Tennessee, like Ole Miss. They did not do them any favors by any stretch of the imagination. Jake, I'll get you out of here with this. We know that Texas and Georgia are the cream of the crop, at least in the preseason, with all the firepower they got coming back, including at quarterback. Besides those two, give me 2 or 3 other teams that you think could join them possibly in the college football playoffs.
Well, I mean, the easy answer to that is LSU and Ole Miss, obviously. I know, we talked about the schedules and how tough they are. But, there's always a team that kind of comes out of nowhere. Or I wouldn't say come out of nowhere because they made the playoff last year. But nobody's really talking about Oklahoma. And Oklahoma made the playoff a very similar way to Alabama. They couldn't run the ball. And the defense is going to be elite with what they have coming back and how good Brent is, and he takes ownership of that defense. But just imagine if the offensive line figures it out. And you know what's funny? I could say something very similar about South Carolina. South Carolina is an offensive line away from being a legit problem. They just haven't figured it out the past couple of years. And last year, was an absolute disaster. Lenoris was running away from everybody but the FBI. So I would say Oklahoma, obviously A&M. Marcel Reed doesn't get talked about enough. Everybody gasses up Kevin Jennings from SMU. It's the same guy. It's like Zoolander. It's the same look. It's the exact same look. So, I could give you a handful, but for a team to come out of nowhere, if you want me to give you a team that I think maybe kind of comes out of nowhere, I think Auburn's got a chance to do something. I really believe that. When they got a chance to start 5-0, when you look at that schedule, and if they do that, and by do something, I mean win 8, possibly 9 games. So that's kind of a team. And look, I'll tell you right now, I grew up in Lee County. I'm from Auburn, Alabama. But on Auburn, I actually got a feeling they may sneak a couple people this year. But outside of that, there's a handful of teams, man. That's why this year is going to be so much fun. And you can say the same thing about the Big Ten.
It's a great point. Jake, always appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much. Keep up the tremendous work that you're doing, talking about the SEC, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
We got to take a timeout. More of RP3 and Meche from Tampa for SEC Media Days right here on ESPN, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
If you're needing to get yourself a new rifle or shotgun for hunting season, or maybe picking up a new handgun to protect your home and your family, or you're just running low on ammo, go see my friends over at Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard today. They're open Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 6 o'clock in the evening, and they have a tremendous selection of both new or used handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, suppressors, and even apparel. And they pride themselves on spending their money locally because they're a small business themselves. That's why they've teamed up with a local finance company that's currently offering 0 down and same as cash for 1 year. That's right. If you're a little short on cash, you can finance your guns, ammo, and even suppressors. Go see my friends at Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard today, and tell them RP3 sent you.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Acadiana area businesses. Is it time to make an impact? Time for more traffic, more engagement, time for more customers? Then it's time to make a splash with Bass. Bass is now offering digital marketing, indoor and outdoor digital signage, billboards, and video production to help you reach more customers and close more business. For over 30 years, Bass has helped our customers tell their story. Bass Companies. Remember, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Advertise with Bass. Find us around Acadiana or at bassltd.com.
Let's try something new, like not overloading your outlets. Up next, from Mr. Electric. You know that power strip and your extension cord? They are not a permanent lifestyle choice. You don't have to be afraid to get rid of them if they're damaged. And keep water far away from electricity. And if something sparks, buzzes, or smells like regret, call a professional. Because saving a few bucks is not worth turning your living room into a campfire. Home electrical safety. It's not shocking, unless you ignore it.
If you would like to learn more, visit MrElectric.com.
You're looking for not only a good electrician, but one you can trust. Here's Sean Doré with Mr. Electric.
Yeah, I love what I do. I love serving our community. It's a pleasure, it really is. Our reviews speak for the passion that I have. You know, we want to do good business. We want to be someone that you can trust to come in to your home.
Call Mr. Electric today or see us on Facebook.
Looking for a spotless workplace? Variety Janitorial Services is your go-to. For office cleaning to stripping and floor waxing and carpet cleaning, your commercial space will look its best. Their reputation for perfection has grown throughout the entire Acadiana community. They deliver top-notch service with a commitment to excellence. Daily, weekly, or deep cleaning, trust the experts. Visit varietyjan.com today or call 337-298-8704 for a free quote. Variety Janitorial Services. We clean, you shine. Heard the price of gold today? Gold and Treasure Estate Jewelry in Karen Crow is buying gold and silver right now. Located in the Super One Shopping Center at 200 Hector Connolly Road, we're more than your typical pawn shop. Shop beautiful designer handbags, stunning gold, silver, and platinum jewelry, all at prices you can afford. We buy and sell gold and silver every day. Loans available by appointment, and walk-ins are always welcome. Call 337-520-2209 or visit gtboutique.com. Gold and Treasures Estate Jewelry and Boutique Pawn in Karen Crow, where treasures are found.
Want to get caught up on everything that happened today at the circus that is SEC Media Days in Tampa? Yeah. Not to worry. We've got you covered. Back to more SEC football talk on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. You know! And powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
We're wrapping up this edition of RP3 and Meche as the guys are over there at SEC Media Days in Tampa. We got a little bit of a technical difficulty, so while they try to get back up and running, I'll give you an update on that poll question of the day. Of course, we'd asked you on Facebook and on X, which table would you sit at? This is something that we usually do or across social media. In case you're on it enough, you would see it. There's different tables with different personalities that are a part of it. So in this case, we split up the 16 SEC head football coaches and split them up 4 different ways. Now, some of the guys, we had to make sure that some of them were a part of separate tables, because then it'd be way too obvious and be way too interesting to see something go down over there. So we split it up into 4 ways. And for table A, number 1, it's Lane Kiffin of LSU. It's Ryan Silverfield of Arkansas, Eli Drinkwitz of Missouri, and then Josh Heupel of Tennessee. For table B, we've got Kirby Smart with Georgia, Will Stein with Kentucky, Pete Golden with Ole Miss, and then Jeff Lebby with Mississippi State. Table C's got Steve Sarkisian with Texas, Alec Golish with Auburn, Brent Venables with Oklahoma, and then Shane Beamer with South Carolina. Table D has Kalen DeBoer with Alabama, Texas A&M's Mike Elko, Clark Lee with Vanderbilt, and then Florida's John Summerall. Still leading the way at 39% is Table A, but throughout the day it's become less and less of a percentage. Table B, C, and D aren't too far off. 22% apiece towards B and D, and then Table C bringing up the rear at 17%. RP3, I think you're back now. Guess not. Looks like they're still doing more technical difficulties. Oh.
No, we're here, bud.
Oh,
we're here. Yeah,
look at that.
We lost power on Radio Row, like us and multiple stations here on our wall. So, so that was a bit of an alarm.
Yeah, seems like it. We really haven't been able to give either of our thoughts towards the poll question of the day. I've talked about what people have chosen so far, but we haven't been able to discuss it ourselves and our thoughts. So where would you lean between the options, Ray?
You know, it's interesting. I did go ahead and vote on the poll question of the day, and I don't think you can go wrong with any option. So you kind of break this down. I know you already started to do that. Table A, you got Kiffin. Obviously, everyone's going to want to hear from Lane because he's such a lightning rod, right? And people are like Ryan Silverfield for Arkansas. Drinkowitz can be very, he can be very kind of pissy, right, and entertaining in a big way. So that would be interesting. Josh Heupel. So obviously Table A looks really stands out. Table B, you get Kirby Smart. He's multiple national championship winner. But you're also going to have Pete Golding. He's kind of a good old boy kind of thing. So that would be interesting. Table D, Kalen DeBoer, Alabama under pressure. Mike Elko, can A&M finally get through? Clark Lee's good interview. John Summerall's got a lot of great energy now at Florida. And then Table C, you got Sark, Ryan Golish, the new man in charge of Auburn, Brent Venables, and Shane Beamer, who's on the hot seat. I voted Table D with DeBoer and the pressure, Elko with A&M, and Clark Lee's wildly entertaining. I feel like we had him on the show years ago at SEC Media Days before Vanderbilt got really good, so that could be interesting. So I voted. I don't think you can go wrong, but I voted Table D is what I did. Because I know everyone else would vote A because of Lane, but I voted. I went different. I went with a different approach.
Well, I went A, but not necessarily for Kiffin. Kiffin was like, I guess you could say, kind of like the third-ish reason as to why, because I personally am always pretty entertained and like to hear what Drink and Heupel both have to say. It's just kind of like a line you up, cherry on top type of situation with Kiffin in the fold, because it feels like with Kiffin, he's not going to give like the most entertaining spiel. He's a little bit dry. He's a little bit more soft-spoken, kind of laid back in a different type of sense. Not too sure what I'm getting with Silverfield, but I feel like between the two of Drink and Heupel plus getting Kiffin, it just feels like too much interestingness that would go on at that table.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think you could go wrong either way, but let's take a moment here before we wrap up today's show and take a moment to thank our guests, because we had a heck of a show today. I want to thank Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, for joining us. I want to thank former LSU National Championship winning starting quarterback Matt Flynn. He joined us, broke down all the quarterbacks for the SEC this year. Then we had an impromptu, great interview with the young man, senior safety out of Kentucky, Ty Banks. So appreciate him making the time for us. That was great to be able to have. And then, of course, good interview with Crane and Cone co-host Jake Crane, breaking down all things SEC. It was a tremendous start to SEC Media Days here in Tampa. And of course, all of our coverage is powered by our friends at Service Chevrolet Cadillac. And remember, every new Chevy from Service Chevrolet comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. So don't forget that. Go and see our friends and take advantage of those great deals. That's going to do it for day one here at SEC Media Days. Coming up is our guy, the son of Iceman, 2 degrees himself, Dawson Iserloh. The Lowdown with D-Lo, live from Tampa, next.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, they're national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off